Make sure your insurance doesn't come up short. Get gap cover with ALA. For more information, follow the links in the description. Hello everybody. As both an avid creator and watcher of automotive content here on YouTube, sometimes I do get the feeling that unless you've got a budget of tens or hundreds of thousands of pounds, it can feel like fun cars are simply out of reach. And that is why I am very passionate about proving that is not the case at all. And it was in that spirit that earlier this year my friends clubbed together and bought me a Rover 100 track car. And though some might think that is the automotive equivalent of coal at Christmas, buying somebody for a track car the infamously dangerous Rover 100, taken off sale when it got 1 star in the then new Euro NCAP. But this was no ordinary Rover 100. Oh no, this was Talon Sports Cars Rover 100 RT. And I was very, very excited about it. Unfortunately, as should be expected with old British cars that haven't been MOT'd for 4 years, there are a few problems with it. And this got me thinking, there must be cars out there at a similar price point, hundreds or low thousands of pounds, which are proper fun on both road and track, which anybody can buy without the hassle of trying to run a 30-year-old classic car and all that comes with. Well, good news everybody, because I have found the perfect candidate. And though it's a car that may not surprise you, it is one I'm going to try and do something rather special with, and I'll hope you will join me for the journey. So, for more, stay tuned for this episode of JayEmm on Cars. The second half of this year has been a real roller coaster for me. There is so much going on behind the scenes that at this point in time, there are up to 4 cars I have bought that you don't even know about yet. And that's to say nothing of all of the many updates on other things that I own. So if you're waiting to hear what's happening on the S2000 or the Cayman, I am very, very sorry. I am trying to do as much as I can, as quickly as I can. But this video I wanted to make first because I think it's a really exciting one. And it concerns this. It's a 2003 R53 generation Mini Cooper S complete with the John Cooper Works kit. And I bought it somewhat unexpectedly between finding out my Rover was in a real state and having the first of our new Radiator Arms Track Club track days. I wanted something to bring. I couldn't turn up to my own party without something, and when this presented itself, I thought it's an absolute no-brainer. For here we have not just a very good car in the R53 Mini Cooper S, but one which already had bucket seats, harnesses, and a cage. Unfortunately, amongst the things that we are going to have to change are the bucket seats, the cage, and the harnesses, and those actually have already been replaced because they were lethal. Never in my life have I experienced a harness which, even under gentle acceleration, will come loose. The seats, meanwhile, look absolutely fine. They're Cobras. They are fundamentally good seats, but they are old now, and all of the padding has gone, meaning after about 20 minutes, it can become very uncomfortable. The cage, then, is a very odd one of unknown provenance and is neither a bolt-in or a weld-in, having bits of both, and I'm just not keen on it. However, the car itself I do like. There is lots and lots and lots that has to be done, but having driven it on track just the once, I can confirm it is an absolute riot. But like all good projects, this one has already begun to run away from me. Now, I purchased this as something not just to use for myself, but also as a rental car, so that people coming on our track days could have something to drive if they either didn't have a car that was suitable of their own or just wanted to give this a go. The problem is that because of the way track day stuff works, as this becomes a more expensive car, so is the excess for it going to get bigger. And of course, that could put people off. So there was naturally just one sensible solution. Two of them now. This is my 2006 Mini R53 Cooper S. And at a quick glance, it looks very lovely indeed. Glance a little bit closer and you'll see it does have a few issues, including but not limited to some chips in the windscreen right in the driver's field of view, cracks across all of the stripes, a patch of Tipex on this one here, extra stripes where they shouldn't be, lacquer peel over there, brakes which are likely past their best, some very odd substance on the dash, corrosion at the back, and a partial service history. There are also scratches and dents throughout, including a rather large one here at the front, and the aircon, we are told, has stopped working, which of course is just going to be a regas. However, this car also has a lot going for it. Unlike the grey one, this is a standard Cooper S. It does not have the John Cooper Works kit, so it's running the regular 160 horsepower. It does have an aftermarket orange intake, some Pro Hoses tubing. It's also got these MG 16-inch alloys on it, which are actually a direct fitment for the Mini, a tribute to its Rover development heritage. You also have on the inside an interior which is largely okay, but generally standard. It does though have the chrono pack, meaning you've got two dials in front of the driver, as opposed to a rev counter here and a massive speedo dinner plate style in the middle, like the old Mini. Best of all though, it does have later R56 front brakes and a factory limited slip differential. And as you might expect of a car previously owned by a 19-year-old, though he did not find any time or money to fix any of the many cosmetic issues, he did find it to fit a set of BC racing coilovers, which he immediately set up as low as they would possibly go. So when my good buddy Will went and looked at the car and picked it up for me, he found it wasn't that pleasant to drive and was protesting quite a bit. Happily, that has now been sorted, it has been raised, and it's behaving itself. It's also a lot of fun to drive, though we'll get onto that shortly. And so you might be asking yourself the simple question, what's the idea then of having two Minis? Well, it's fairly simple. This one is going to be kept as a largely standard issue fast road / occasional track car. And the idea of it is we want to build something that anybody can replicate. To that end, we are going to be doing a series on this car, building it into something which is not just capable, but still economical, both to run and also to repair. That thing, well, that's going to wind up being a little bit crazier. Think effectively a mini challenge car if the challenge didn't have any rules. And that's going to take quite some time. Having the two also gives us redundancy. The idea being, if for whatever reason one is out of action, we've still got something for people to drive. And as of next year, both of these are going to be available for people to rent. And the plan is, this one, I'm going to do a very special deal. You and a friend will be able to club together and rent this car and to come on one of my track days, where I will provide you with a set of good tyres and brakes and even a full tank of fuel, to which all you need to add is your own fuel as you use it. And for that, we are hoping to charge around £600 a day. That's for two people for a full day of track activity. And because we are not going to be going crazy with this car, we'll also be able to keep the excess low. My aim is to get it to the £2,000 to £2,500 mark. And of course, if something very minor happens to the car, like you scrape a cone or something like that, we're really not going to worry about it. That is the beauty of buying a car in this kind of condition. Were I buying something just for myself to use on the road, I would have waited, I would have spent more and bought something in much better cosmetic condition with more history, so on and so forth. But for what we're doing, this is perfect. Thing is though, before we let anybody else drive it, heck, before we drive it, there are things we need to do. Now, of course, before we handed over any money at all, we did our obligatory CarVertical check, and that came back clear. So now we've got the car, we've given it a good once over in the daylight and drawn up a list of all the things we're going to need. And that's where our friends at Autodoc come in handy, because from them we have been able to order oil for not just the engine but the gearbox. We've already got a supercharger service kit, so we'll be fitting that, and we can also get stuff like brake discs, pads, and just about anything you can imagine, because they have literally millions of parts for hundreds of thousands of different cars, and they all ship across most of the world. They'll also do it in pretty quick time too, and whenever we've needed anything for our projects, we've always gone to Autodoc. And part of the reason that we're doing that with this is not just because they've been very nice and supported the video, which helps us make this car and make it more affordable, but because the life of a track car is a hard one, we know that things like consumables are going to need replacing fairly regularly. And in order to keep the ethos of this as an affordable everyday track car, we need to have somewhere where we can get stuff from at good prices. And if you need anything for your car, before you buy, do check Autodoc first. Even better, with my discount code, you can get 5% off. So thanks to them for sponsoring another video. One of the other great things about this car is that also, unlike a lot of things owned by young people, it's already got a cat in it, though I do need to fix that. Get out, you! Come on, be gone! Best of all, this car we got with an MOT on it, and it cost us just £1,850. Looking through the listings on eBay and Facebook Marketplace, and that's not particularly unusual. There are so many of these out there at good money, particularly if you are willing to live with one that has a few imperfections about it. And this one certainly has its fair share of patina. But you forget about all of that as soon as you get yourself behind the wheel. Honestly, I feel like an absolute fool for waiting near 20 years after getting my driving license before buying one of these. But I am so happy that I've done it now. Now you can definitely feel the 40 horsepower deficit between this and the grey car, but you can also, particularly in these inclement conditions, feel the benefits of the limited slip differential that this one has and that one desperately needs. And don't worry, it's on my shopping list. But right here, right now, with BC coilovers set to unknown settings, this car is absolutely brilliant. Were I to try and live with it day to day, the relatively limited space and the firm suspension would probably bug me. But to have a bit of a blast in, this is sensational. And to think you can get this for 2,000 quid. Oh, it's brilliant. But we need your help, and we need it in a few different ways. First off, if you haven't already, please hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe as well. It makes a really big difference to me and costs you nothing. I'd also like to hear from you in that very same comment section what you'd like to see us do with this car. What things are your track essentials? And tell us, by the way, if you'd like us to do something particularly for the grey car, for both of them, or anything really. This, remember, is trying to be the more affordable, more accessible, more low-key car. I don't really want it to be any more powerful than it is now. We might do a couple of basic things, but the whole point of it is it's supposed to be friendly and approachable. The other one, that'll be the wild child. And I've got to be honest, I'm having an absolute blast doing a build that's all about track. Just about everything else I've done thus far is a 100% road build. And I am of the opinion that, generally speaking, you can't do a car which is good at both. That being said, this is going to be, I suppose, about as close as you'll ever get to an ideal compromise. And just in case you are watching this video thinking, what on earth is he talking about? Track stuff, I don't know anything about this. Allow me to tell you. Earlier this year, I did my annual birthday track day, where I rent Blyton Park and invite a bunch of friends to come out. We have a day all to ourselves. You have no more than 24 cars in total and 6 on track at a time. And it was fantastic. We had an absolute blast. It was so good that I figured, you know what? I think other people would like to try this as well. So we did it, and in September we had the first Radiator Arms Track Club event. It was a real success, sold out in fact in just a few hours. So successful in fact was it that we have subsequently sold out 3 more days in November. I am currently talking with Blyton Park about doing more dates next year, and I am also talking with other tracks about doing stuff too, including things beyond just your average basic track day. But to find out about that, I am afraid you are going to have to wait, because I don't want to tell you until I know for sure it's going to happen. What I have also started is something called the Radiator Arms Titanium Club, and this is for the sort of people that like the sound of what I'm doing and want to support it in the early days. Now it costs £500, and the idea is you get a nice shiny membership card, some Radiator Arms merchandise which is currently in production, and you'll get a £200 credit towards a track day of your choice, and 10% after that of any track day you want to attend with no limit. You'll also get a one-time 25% discount on any of our rental cars. And spoiler alert, this isn't the only rental car that I've bought. And I'm not just talking about the grey Mini. In fact, even Will, who's been helping me out with this, doesn't know yet. And this has all been made possible by the people that have supported the Titanium Club. In the first video where I announced it, I said that all of the spare money after we've made the merchandise and given people their credit and so on and so forth is going to go on building stuff that can be used on track. And this is the first example of that. And we want this to be something for everybody. That's why we're working really hard to keep this relatively affordable. The other car, that's a little bit more upmarket and a very different character to this. And so, if you'd like to be the very first to know what it is that we're doing, when we're going to be doing it, and to get yourself a bit of a deal, well, I'll leave the link for the Titanium Club in the description down below. But you don't have to buy it. Nobody is under any pressure. If you want to come and join us on a track day, whether in your car or one of ours, all you need to do is sign up. And keep an eye on this channel and JayEmm and Friends for information on the next day. I gotta say though, I love this thing. It's just so much fun, so full of character, even makes a good noise. Oh, love it. Anyway, with that said, I want to say thank you for tuning in today. Do you think I made the right choice? Should I have bought something else? Is it a good idea to have 2 minis? Or should I got a different car to add a bit of variety? What would you buy with a £2,000 and a bit budget as a track car? I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, with that, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you for watching. We shall see you for the next one. Bye-bye.